Welcome back, rare coin inside. Imagine reaching into your pocket at the end of a normal day, pulling out a single dime that has been sitting unnoticed among ordinary change, and discovering that this tiny 10-cent coin has a story stretching across American history, modern minting technology, and the fascinating world of coin collecting. Every year, millions of people spend coins without giving them a second glance. Yet collectors know that even common-looking coins can become highly desirable when they possess exceptional preservation, unusual minting errors, or other characteristics that separate them from the billions of ordinary examples. Today, we're taking a close look at the 2003 Roosevelt dime, one of the many coins that quietly entered circulation but continues to attract the attention of collectors searching through rolls of coins, bank boxes, estate collections, and pocket change in hopes of finding something extraordinary. At first glance, the 2003 Roosevelt dime appears almost identical to many other Roosevelt dimes produced over the decades. It carries the familiar portrait of President Franklin Delano Roosevelt on the front, a design that has become one of the most recognizable images in American coinage. Yet beneath this familiar appearance lies a remarkable combination of history, artistry, precision engineering, and collector interest that makes this coin worth examining far more carefully than most people ever do. The Roosevelt dime itself has a history dating back to 1946, when it was introduced shortly after the passing of President Franklin D. Roosevelt. Roosevelt was one of America's most influential leaders, guiding the nation through the Great Depression and World War II. His leadership left such a lasting impact that the United States Mint chose to honor him on the nation's 10-cent coin. Another important reason for selecting Roosevelt was his close association with the fight against polio. Roosevelt himself battled the disease, and his support inspired the March of Dimes campaign, which helped raise enormous amounts of money for medical research. Naming the organization March of Dimes made the dime an especially meaningful choice for commemorating his legacy. Fast forward to 2003, and the Philadelphia Mint continued this tradition by producing hundreds of millions of Roosevelt dimes for circulation. The Mint mark identifies the coin as having been struck at the Philadelphia Mint, one of the oldest and most significant minting facilities in the United States. For much of American history, Philadelphia coins carried no mint mark at all. However, beginning in the late 20th century, most circulating Philadelphia coins started displaying the Mint mark, making identification much easier for collectors. One of the first things collectors examine is the coin's specifications. The 2003 Roosevelt dime weighs approximately 2.268 grams. This precise weight is essential because even a tiny variation can indicate excessive wear, damage, or in rare circumstances, a minting anomaly. Professional grading services often verify weight during authentication, and experienced collectors frequently use highly accurate digital scales when evaluating coins. The coin measures approximately 17.91 millimeters in diameter, making it one of the smaller circulating United States coins. Despite its modest size, every fraction of a millimeter reflects extraordinary manufacturing precision. The thickness is approximately 1.35 millimeters, while the edge features 118 reeds. Those tiny grooves around the edge are not simply decorative. They originated centuries ago as a method of preventing criminals from shaving precious metal from silver coins. Although modern dimes no longer contain silver, the reeded edge remains an important design feature. Unlike Roosevelt dimes minted before 1965, the 2003 dime contains no silver. Instead, it is composed of a copper core surrounded by outer layers of copper and nickel. Specifically, the outer layers consist of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper center. This clad composition gives the coin durability while maintaining its familiar silver-colored appearance. Looking closely at the obverse reveals the left-facing portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt. The portrait was designed by John R. Sinek, the chief engraver of the United States Mint. His initials, JS, appear near the base of Roosevelt's neck, although many people overlook them. Over the decades, collectors have occasionally mistaken these initials for other meanings, but they simply recognize the artist responsible for one of America's longest-running coin designs. Above Roosevelt's portrait appears the word Liberty, one of the most recognizable inscriptions on United States coinage. To the left of the neck is the national motto, "In God We Trust." On the right side appears the year, 2003, while the small P mint mark sits nearby, indicating production at Philadelphia. Turning the coin over reveals one of the most elegant reverse designs ever placed on an American circulation coin. At the center stands a torch, symbolizing liberty and enlightenment. To the left is an olive branch representing peace, while the oak branch on the right symbolizes strength, independence, and national resilience. Encircling these elements are the inscriptions, United States of America, 1 dime, and the motto, E pluribus unum, meaning, out of many, one. Many people never realize how much symbolism fits onto such a tiny piece of metal. Every element was carefully selected to represent ideals central to American history and culture. The balance between liberty, peace, and strength reflects values that extend well beyond coin collecting, reminding us that circulating coins also serve as miniature works of public art. Although the Philadelphia Mint struck an enormous number of 2003 P dimes, not every example survives in the same condition. Coins began accumulating scratches, contact marks, and were almost immediately after entering circulation. Every trip through vending machines, cash registers, coin counting machines, pockets, purses, and bank bags slowly changes their appearance. After years of circulation, most examples display dull surfaces, flattened details, and numerous marks that reduce collector value. This is why collectors pay such close attention to condition. A coin that somehow escaped circulation and retained its original mint luster can be dramatically more valuable than one showing years of everyday use. Mint state examples preserve the brilliant surfaces created during striking, often displaying vibrant cartwheel luster that rotates across the coin when tilted under proper lighting. Professional grading companies evaluate these coins using the Sheldon grading scale, which ranges from poor 1 to mint state 70. Most circulated 2003 P dimes fall well below mint state grades because they have experienced years of handling. However, coins graded MS66, MS67, or even higher become increasingly scarce, especially when they also exhibit exceptional eye appeal. Another characteristic that advanced Roosevelt dime collectors seek is known as full bands, often abbreviated as FB. This designation refers to the horizontal bands across the torch on the reverse. On sharply struck examples, these bands remain completely separated and uninterrupted. Achieving full bands requires outstanding strike quality and well-prepared dies, making such coins considerably more desirable. Collectors searching through bank rolls often inspect the reverse first because full bands can significantly increase a coin's premium. Although most circulating examples lose these details through wear, uncirculated coins with crisp torch bands continue attracting strong collector demand. This demonstrates how tiny details, almost invisible to casual observers, can dramatically influence value. Even though the vast majority of 2003 P dimes remain worth only face value in circulation, exceptional certified examples have sold for substantially higher amounts due to their rarity in top condition. Population reports maintained by grading services reveal that only a small percentage achieve the highest certified grades, creating competition among registry set collectors striving to assemble the finest possible collections. The journey of a 2003 P Roosevelt dime begins long before the coin ever reaches a bank, cash register, or someone's pocket. It starts as large coils of metal manufactured to exact specifications. These coils consist of a layered clad material with a pure copper core sandwiched between outer layers made of 75% copper and 25% nickel. Every layer must be bonded perfectly because even the slightest imperfection could affect the finished coin's durability, appearance, or ability to withstand decades of circulation. After the metal arrives at the United States Mint, enormous presses punch thousands of perfectly round blank discs from the strips. These discs, known simply as blanks, initially have rough edges and plain surfaces. Before they can become coins, they must pass through a series of carefully controlled manufacturing stages designed to ensure consistency and quality. The blanks are cleaned, polished, heated, softened, and then cooled before moving to upsetting mills. During this process, each blank receives a raised rim around its edge. Although this may seem like a minor detail, the rim plays a critical role during striking because it helps protect the coin's design from wear while allowing the dies to transfer even the smallest details more effectively. Only after all of these preparation steps are complete does the blank become ready for striking. At the Philadelphia Mint, high-speed coin presses operate continuously, producing thousands of coins every hour. Each blank is fed automatically into the striking chamber, where two hardened steel dies come together under tremendous pressure. Within a fraction of a second, the blank transforms into a fully detailed Roosevelt dime carrying every inscription, portrait, branch, torch, and reed along its edge. The amount of pressure involved is astonishing. Modern coining presses apply many tons of force to each planchet, ensuring every tiny detail transfers from the engraved dies onto the metal surface. Every line in Roosevelt's hair, every letter in the inscriptions, every tiny groove on the torch, and every reed along the edge depends upon this precise striking pressure. Despite advanced technology, no minting operation is absolutely perfect. Dies slowly wear out after striking hundreds of thousands of coins. As they age, tiny imperfections begin developing, sometimes producing fascinating varieties that collectors eagerly search for. This is one reason experienced collectors inspect every coin carefully under magnification. What appears ordinary to most people may reveal unusual characteristics that tell the story of the die's life inside the mint. Among the most exciting discoveries are die cracks. These occur when the steel die develops tiny fractures after prolonged use. Every subsequent coin struck by that damaged die carries raised lines corresponding to the crack. Some die cracks remain extremely small, while others grow over time into dramatic features extending across significant portions of the design. Another collectible variety involves die chips. Tiny pieces of hardened steel occasionally break away from the die, leaving small raised blobs on every coin subsequently struck. Collectors often assign colorful nicknames to certain die chips because their shapes resemble familiar objects or letters. Although many die chips are minor, larger examples can attract considerable collector interest. Grease-filled dies create another fascinating category of mint errors. During production, grease or debris may fill recessed portions of a die, preventing those details from transferring fully onto the coin. The resulting coin displays weak or missing letters, numbers, or design elements, while the surrounding areas remain sharply struck. These errors can be surprisingly dramatic despite involving no damage after the coin leaves the mint. Off-center strikes represent another spectacular error that occasionally escapes the mint's quality control systems. Instead of being perfectly centered between the dies, the planchet shifts slightly during striking. Depending upon the degree of displacement, portions of the design may be missing, while a blank crescent-shaped area remains visible. Larger off-center strikes are generally more dramatic and often attract greater collector demand. Broad strikes occur when the retaining collar fails to surround the planchet properly during striking. Without the collar, the metal spreads outward farther than intended, producing a coin with an unusually broad appearance and no properly formed reeded edge. These errors are immediately recognizable because the coin appears noticeably wider than a normal dime. Another impressive mint error involves double strikes. Occasionally, instead of being ejected after the first strike, a coin remains inside the press long enough to receive a second impression. Depending upon movement between strikes, portions of the design may overlap in dramatic ways. These errors provide fascinating insight into the complex mechanics of modern coin production. Collectors also watch for clipped planchets. These occur before striking when the blanking press overlaps a previously punched hole, removing part of the metal disc. The finished coin displays a curved missing section that originated during manufacturing rather than from damage after circulation. Genuine clipped planchets show distinctive characteristics that specialists use to distinguish them from post-mint damage. Lamination errors occasionally occur when impurities or bonding defects develop within the metal strip before blanking. Portions of the coin surface may peel or separate, revealing unusual textures. Because these flaws originate in the planchet itself, they are considered legitimate mint errors rather than damage occurring later. While dramatic mint errors capture attention, many collectors focus instead on finding beautifully preserved ordinary examples. Original mint luster remains one of the most desirable characteristics. Freshly struck coins exhibit microscopic flow lines created as metal moves outward during striking. These flow lines reflect light in a rotating pattern commonly called cartwheel luster. Once wear begins, these delicate lines gradually disappear, making untouched luster increasingly valuable. Surface preservation also matters tremendously. Even coins that never circulated often acquire tiny contact marks while being transported in large canvas bags holding thousands of freshly minted pieces. Every bump against neighboring coins can leave small nicks or scratches. Consequently, locating a nearly flawless example becomes much more challenging than many people expect. Eye appeal extends beyond technical grading. Two coins assigned the same numerical grade may appear dramatically different to experienced collectors. One may display vibrant brilliance, balanced color, and attractive surfaces, while another exhibits distracting marks despite receiving an identical grade. Advanced collectors frequently pay premiums for coins possessing exceptional visual appeal. Lighting plays an important role during examination. Many specialists rotate coins beneath bright lamps to evaluate luster, strike quality, surface preservation, and any evidence of cleaning. Improper cleaning often leaves fine parallel hairlines that become obvious under angled illumination. Such cleaning generally reduces collector value because originality remains one of the most prized characteristics in numismatics. Some collectors build complete date and mint collections of Roosevelt dimes, requiring examples from every year and every mint. Others pursue only Philadelphia issues, while still others focus exclusively on full bands examples certified by major grading services. Registry set competition has encouraged collectors to search relentlessly for the finest known examples, creating strong demand for top population coins. One reason the Roosevelt dime series remains popular is its accessibility. Beginning collectors can often assemble substantial portions of the series from circulation, while advanced collectors can spend years pursuing elite certified examples. This combination of affordability and challenge has introduced countless people to the hobby of coin collecting. Searching bank rolls has become one of the most enjoyable activities for many collectors. A single box may contain thousands of dimes representing decades of American coinage. Although finding a spectacular rarity is uncommon, every roll offers the possibility of discovering an older silver dime, a high-grade modern issue, or an interesting mint error that somehow escaped notice for years. The excitement comes from uncertainty. Every coin examined carries the possibility of revealing something unexpected. Most will prove ordinary, but occasionally one displays unusually sharp details, brilliant surfaces, or a striking mint error that transforms a routine search into a memorable discovery. As collectors continue studying the 2003 Roosevelt dime, one lesson becomes clearer than ever. A coin's true significance is rarely determined by its face value alone. Every coin carries two stories. The first is its monetary value, the 10 cents stamped into law when it left the United States Mint. The second is its journey through history, commerce, and the hands of countless Americans. It is this second story that often inspires collectors to spend hours searching through rolls of coins, examining estate collections, and studying every tiny detail under magnification. One of the biggest misconceptions among new collectors is that every old coin is automatically valuable. In reality, age is only one small part of the equation. Rarity, condition, demand, originality, eye appeal, and documented mint errors all play major roles in determining what collectors are willing to pay. A common coin in average circulated condition may remain worth only face value, while another example of the exact same date and mint mark, preserved in extraordinary condition or displaying a significant mint error, can command a substantial premium. This is why patience becomes one of the greatest skills in coin collecting. Experienced collectors understand that valuable discoveries rarely happen overnight. Instead, they come from consistently learning, observing, and improving one's ability to recognize important details that others might overlook. Every coin examined becomes another lesson, gradually sharpening the collector's eye. When examining a 2003 Roosevelt dime, start by checking the overall appearance. Is the coin heavily worn, or does it still display bright original mint luster? Next, inspect Roosevelt's hair, the lettering, the date, and the mint mark. Then turn the coin over and carefully examine the torch, olive branch, and oak branch. Look for unusually strong strike quality, especially the horizontal bands across the torch, since well-defined bands are especially desirable to many Roosevelt dime collectors. Magnification often reveals features invisible to the naked eye. A simple 5x or 10x magnifier can expose tiny die cracks, die chips, double details, or surface characteristics that influence collectability. Many experienced collectors also use high-quality LED lighting because different angles help reveal luster, scratches, cleaning marks, and subtle imperfections. One mistake beginners frequently make is cleaning their coins. A shiny coin may appear more attractive at first glance, but improper cleaning often removes the original surface and leaves microscopic scratches that experienced collectors immediately recognize. Once a coin has been harshly cleaned, its collector value is usually reduced permanently. For this reason, most numismatists recommend leaving coins exactly as they are found. Storage is equally important. Even a beautiful uncirculated coin can develop scratches if tossed loosely into a drawer with other coins. Humidity, fingerprints, and improper handling may gradually damage the surfaces over time. Collectors often use archival quality holders, cardboard flips, plastic capsules, or certified holders from professional grading companies to protect valuable pieces. Professional grading services have transformed the modern coin market by providing independent opinions regarding authenticity, condition, and special designations. Coins receiving high mint state grades often become much easier to buy and sell because collectors have confidence in standardized grading. However, submitting coins for grading involves costs, so many collectors carefully evaluate whether a particular coin justifies certification. Auction records also demonstrate how dramatically condition can influence value. Two coins struck during the same year at the same mint can sell for vastly different amounts simply because one has sharper details, stronger luster, fewer contact marks, or a superior strike. Registry collectors competing for the finest known collections often seek these elite examples, creating strong demand for coins at the highest certified grades. The popularity of the Roosevelt dime series continues to grow, because it combines affordability with genuine collecting challenges. Beginners can search pocket change for modern dates, while advanced specialists pursue elusive full bands examples, dramatic mint errors, and top population certified coins. This broad appeal has kept interest in the series strong for decades. Another fascinating aspect of coin collecting is that research never truly ends. New die varieties are occasionally identified years after coins entered circulation. Collectors continue studying production methods, comparing examples, and sharing discoveries with the numismatic community. Every newly documented variety adds another chapter to the history of American coinage. Technology has also changed how collectors build their collections. High-resolution digital photography allows tiny details to be examined from anywhere in the world. Online auctions connect buyers and sellers across continents, while educational videos, books, and collector forums make learning more accessible than ever before. Yet despite these advances, one thing remains unchanged: the excitement of holding a coin in your own hands and wondering whether it might possess something unusual. Many people begin collecting after inheriting a small jar of coins from a family member or discovering an old coin album tucked away in a closet. Others become interested after hearing about valuable mint errors or remarkable auction sales. Whatever sparks the initial curiosity, the hobby often grows into a lifelong appreciation of history, craftsmanship, economics, and art. The 2003 Roosevelt dime may seem ordinary at first, but it represents the incredible precision of the United States Mint, the enduring legacy of Franklin D. Roosevelt, and the countless stories carried by everyday American coinage. Millions were struck, spent, saved, and exchanged, quietly participating in daily life across the country. Every surviving example is a small historical artifact connecting today's collectors with the people and events of the early 21st century. As you search through your own change, remember that careful observation is far more important than luck alone. Learn the specifications. Study the designs. Understand how mint errors occur. Compare circulated examples with brilliant uncirculated coins. Develop patience, because knowledge consistently becomes the collector's greatest advantage. Perhaps the next dime you receive in change will simply be worth 10 cents. Or perhaps it will display an interesting die variety, an attractive full band strike, or remarkable preservation that catches the attention of experienced collectors. The only way to know is to look carefully. Every coin has a story waiting to be discovered, and sometimes the smallest details tell the biggest stories. That is what makes coin collecting such a rewarding hobby. It encourages curiosity, rewards careful observation, preserves history, and reminds us that remarkable craftsmanship can be found in even the smallest objects we use every day. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed learning about the 2003 Roosevelt dime, consider checking the coins already sitting in your pocket, wallet, piggy bank, or old coin jar. You never know what piece of history might be hiding in plain sight. Keep learning, keep collecting, and most importantly, keep looking closely, because every coin has the potential to teach you something new, and every search is another opportunity to uncover a fascinating piece of America's numismatic heritage.